Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing what I promised, which is a full, complete, comprehensive guide of this game. Not just the fighting, the entire game. Let's quickly get into this. So we got World Fighters, the story mode. You click on it, you get a little cutscene introducing the story of the game. Press plus to skip it, and then you get to select your character. There's a lot of characters in this game, a lot of which you have to unlock. I cheated and used a 100% save file because I'm using an emulator. I know emulators are bad, but I mean, I don't want to pay for this copy in a Japanese GameCube just to play this game. I don't think anyone wants to do that. We got Soul Survival, which is the fighting mode of the game. You know, the thing I've been covering. Caravan mode, which is a collection of minigames. I'll just show you right here. So each of these is just a different challenge. You know, you got some challenges here. You're supposed to do certain things, you know, destroy stuff, capture the soul, etc., etc. You know, very simple games, but very fun and good for time passing. And you got Library, which just shows pictures of characters, as well as, you know, a little bit of a history here. Again, it's all in Japanese, I can't read it, but yeah. Obviously up until that point, because, you know, this game wasn't connected to online. And then options, which, like, only has autosave and another thing, but it doesn't really matter. So let's get into fighting. So you're already put into a second menu here, which has a few options. So this is, at the top here, what I'm selecting is just select CPUs, no, how many players, etc. It's just very simple. It's computer man. And obviously, I can set this to CPU or none. It will automatically set to man if you have four controllers set in, if you have a controller set in, or COM if you only have one set in. And then this is how many wins you get, so you can decrease it or increase it. 2 is what I prefer. And then you get these, which I don't know what they do. I don't know what this does. I think it changes your control scheme. I think it does something. I don't know what it does. I've tested it out. I've changed it multiple times. And it's done nothing. So yeah. Then when you get actually to the fighting, you got tons of characters. You got like 20-something characters if I'm counting right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Sorry, I'm wrong. 17 characters. I mean, random is technically a character, but yeah, 17 characters. I'm sorry. Yeah, so there's only 17 characters, which isn't a lot, but each character is unique enough where I feel like it doesn't really matter. And now let's get straight to the fighting. So I'm going to be picking Power Pro-kun for player 2. And we're going to be picking this guy over here for player 1. Now, before we get into the battle, let's go over stages. So, there are only 4 competitively viable stages, or competitively allowed stages. I mean, you can play on any of these, but I find these just the funnest because there's no stage hazards. But that's me. So, we got Power Pro-kun Stadium, Dark Lotus, Devastator, and Crane. Yeah, its name is literally Crane. I'm pretty sure. Something dumb like that. But obviously, in most of my videos, I pick Dark Lotus, so we're picking Dark Lotus. There is a bit of loading screens in this game. So when you start a match, you want to see this thing in the center, which gives you hearts. And you want to collect the most hearts that you're the farthest on the bar, as you can see here, which allows you to get more HP. So let's get into, well, this bar. So this bar is your HP, I guess. It's what's shared among both you and your opponent. So you have shared health, basically. And say if I hit him, obviously he loses. I go up on the bar as he goes down, but since he's at the top, he doesn't go down. And this little red thing comes out, which is the death barrier. If you get there, then you're dead. So I just kind of do that. As you can see, the more you hit him, the bigger it gets. So, yeah, you gotta kind of manage where you are on the bar and collect the most hearts. There are hearts scattered throughout stages as well, but usually you're just gonna collect them from the beginning. So let's get into controls. First, you can either use the D-pad or control stick to move left and right. You don't use down, ever. Except if you want to go through a platform like this. That's the only time you use down. It's kind of stupid. Or if you want to get off hangable things, the down is useless. But up is used not to jump, but for directional attacks, which we'll get to in a second. You press A to jump. You cannot change these controls. And whatever the PlayStation 2 equivalent is, but I'm using GameCube here. So you use A to jump, which feels kind of natural, you know, but it's kind of wonky sometimes. And you press the B button to do several attacks, which can be put into several directions, which we'll get to in a second. You have a Y for your grab, and X for your special button, which can also be used for multiple directions. That's why I picked these two characters specifically, and we'll get into that also. And of course, you got aerials as well of your specials, grab, and attack. So here's my aerial special, aerial grabs, which can only grab airborne opponents, which is a bit wonky, but okay. And of course, aerial attacks. Then you have shielding, with the shoulder buttons being L and R. And shields are unbreakable in this game. The only way to break them is by grabbing. And when done in the air, you do a backflip, which kind of gives you a little bit of extra height, as well as making you go backwards. So it's a good retreat option. Now let's get into attacks and specials. So if you press B while standing, you'll do your jab, and hitting it multiple times will do the other hits of your jab. Most jabs are 3-hit jabs. Actually, I think all jabs are 3-hit jabs. But yeah, that's pretty cool. There's no rapid jabs in this game, which I find kind of weird, but okay. Now, if you quickly press side and B at the same time, it's not precise, but kind of tricky. You do a side attack. As you can see there. It's very precise. You gotta kind of like jam the stick. But yeah, side attacks are usually slower, stronger attacks. And I don't know why they're so difficult. I guess this is their version of smash attacks, but they're not really, they don't feel like it. I just kind of feel like very difficult to do normal attacks. Then you got up attacks by just holding up and then pressing the attack button. And then aerials. So aerials work a bit differently. Instead of having neutral forward up, you have up neutral down, I guess. So when you press B in the air, so I guess A then B, then you just do your in the air, I guess, neutral aerial. Then while pressing up in the air, as you can see, you do your up aerial, and then same for your down aerial. It's down and attack in the air. So these are obviously just your aerial moves to catch people in the air off guard and stuff like that. Very simple. Now for grabs here, well, grabs are very simplistic. They grab people while they're shielding. You can walk around while you have someone grabbed. So you can walk around, you can jump, you can throw them, but that's it. You can't attack or anything like that. That's pretty much all grabs can do. Is just rack up a few damage and get your opponent on the ground so that you can ready up a big attack. Which again, we'll get to in a second. Now, for specials. There are two main types of specials. Charge specials, like Power Prokuns here. Right, you charge, and then they go, and then, you know, the more you charge, the stronger they get. And then you have directional specials, and the reason I picked Yugo here is because he has directions in all. Sorry for that, I got scared by my dad because he came in the room because I had my door closed to isolate sound. So yeah, after that heart attack, let's continue. So you got your neutral special, side specials, and up specials. Now, not all characters have 3 directions. Some characters, like Optimus Prime, have only neutral and side, or neutral and up, or just, again, there's a bit of inconsistency here. Because there's actually technically 3 types of specials. The third type is what I like to call, not projectile, but kind of I don't know how to describe it. Basically, like characters like Bomberman, where they only have one direction, but it's not a charge. So basically, they only have a neutral special, but without a charge, but they do something unique. Like with Bomberman, he can place 3 bombs, and Bogami has his dice block, etc., etc. So yeah, oh, and also Twinbee, I forgot to mention him with his rotating bells. So yeah, that's basically the 3 types of specials that you will see in this game. Again, there's a few inconsistencies here and there because they're, yeah. Now specials do multiple things. Most of them do damage, but some characters, like the most broken character in the game, Satan herself, just sucks the life out of you. So yeah. Now again, since down doesn't do anything, you can't crouch in this game, which is a bit weird, but I mean, if you could crouch and do nothing, it'd be weird, but like, it wouldn't be as weird as just not being able to crouch. But okay. Now, let's get into fighting. So again, we already talked about the health bar and how that works. But let's say you're hit, right? And you go into the air. If you press the backflip button, well, that wasn't a good example because I flew to the platform. But if you hit the backflip button, I keep flying on the platform. Now, these eggs will spawn, but we'll get to that later. But if you're hit, okay, work this time, please. Okay, okay, we're just gonna have to get up on here on the platform because this isn't working. So let's say you're hit, right? And you go to the air. If you press the backflip button, you will stop flying and you will just basically stop being stunned. It's pretty simple. You can't do anything. It's kind of just like a saver backflip. I just call it the saver backflip. Wow, I just said the same thing twice in a sentence. How creative. But yeah, he just kind of does that. That's all you really do. You can't really do anything out of hit stun. You just kind of land on the ground. Like, I'll even show you, you can't even mash out of it, so let me just abuse him over here. Get him onto the ground. Oh, his soul fell off. Well, that was supposed to happen. But that's a great segue into winning. So to win, you capture their soul. The easiest way to do that is just to be on top of them while you're attacking, but if it flies away, just collect it, and you win the match, and it shows you how many wins you have right here, as you can see. And then it transitions into the next match. Yeah, so we'll just make him get a lot of the hearts. And now we can show you what I mean by you can't mash out of hit stuff. You heard me mashing there on the keyboard, right, which is what I have it set to. Even if I mash on the controller here, I don't get up faster than I normally would. Because I'll show you. If I don't do anything, it takes the same amount of time as if I were to mash. Maybe it's a second, maybe it's like a couple, it's a little bit faster, but there's no real benefit to mashing. I mean, I don't know if it's faster, but I'm pretty sure it's not. And so, yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. You can't, like, tech or anything like that. I mean, technically you can tech, which is, you know, your saver backflip, but that's about it. That's the only kind of tech in this game. And that's pretty much it for battling. Now, let's go over the pause menu here, which has a few things. This is just resume. This is to go back to character select screen. This is to go back to settings, and this is to exit. That takes you back to here. Now, I want to go over glitches. So, we're going to want to have a character that has a charge attack. Those being Power Pro-kun, Moai, Lika-chan, Satan herself, Tyson Granger, not this guy, and yeah, that's about it. Literally no other character has a charge attack, I'm pretty sure. So only one of these characters is affected by this glitch. No other character is affected by this. So since I main Power Pro-kun here, Bias, I'm gonna play as him, as well as on a stage. If you hear something on, it's the fan on my computer. It freaks out whenever I play GameCube games. Yeah, sorry for that background noise, it's really annoying. But yeah, so here we go, we're on his stage, stage. We don't really care. So, first what you're going to want to do is you want to hold the jump button. And then press special. it will skip the entire animation. I don't know why this glitch exists. I do not know why. Oh, I did forget to mention something about that. Parrying. So if you shield at the right time, you'll parry. And that stuns them, which allows you to. I'm sorry for not mentioning that. That is my fault. I always forget it because I literally never do it. But, yeah. Me things aside, let's continue with this glitch here. Now, why does this glitch exist? It doesn't affect anything else in your moveset. Nothing at all. It doesn't even affect your shielding. It only affects your specials. And only specials with charge. Here's why. Because in the air, you cannot charge in the air. But you can charge on the ground. That's even apparent when you... So, if I am on this platform and I go full charge, or any charge, or medium or full charge, it doesn't matter. And I go off, it cancels immediately, which is great tech with Power Broken, and I covered that in this video. But why does it do that? Well, because you can't do charge attacks in the air. What I think is that the game, since you're doing a charged attack and you're going off stage, or off the platform here, which is in the air, the game stops you from continuing because you're not supposed to be able to do charge attacks in the air, since the game does not allow it, so it prevents you from doing it. Sorry for that, guys. I had to eat some nutrition. You know, obviously gotta live. So as I was saying, let's continue. Again, there's gonna be a few cuts in this video. So since the game doesn't allow you to, so I'm gonna continue. So here's my theory. Since the game doesn't allow you to do that in the air, when you press jump, right, to go into the air, and you hold it, the game thinks you're just pressing jump a bunch of times, and you're constantly in the air. But that's not how the game works. You have to press it multiple times to jump multiple times. But the game, for some reason, reads it as multiple inputs. So then, when you try to do this, the game gets confused because the game detects that you're on the ground, but the game also detects that you're in the air, so it just ends the move, because it doesn't know what to do. This works with a lot of characters. And I'll show you that it doesn't work with Simon here. So I'm going to hold jump, and the specials work just as fine. It's only with charge move characters. One of the weirdest things in this game is this glitch. I don't even think it's useful for anything. Like, what could it be useful for, huh? Confusing your opponent, maybe? I guess? That's it. That's really it. You can't do anything with this glitch. I don't know why it's in the game. It's probably just kind of an oversight. It's just one of the weirdest things in this game. And with that, that's the comprehensive guide. And I've already made my mini guides for each other characters, so obviously each character is different. They're not all the same. So watch those guides to get, you know, the full complete guide, because if I wanted to do a complete guide, I would go over all the characters, but that would be like a 3-hour long video, and no one wants to watch that. So yeah, and that's pretty much the complete guide to this game. Oh, and I also forgot, okay, I'm sorry, I keep messing up. Everything else is pretty organized, but just this other stuff. Each character has 4 costumes that you can just move with the D-pad or control stick. Sorry about that. So yeah, each character has 4 skins. I'm so sorry about mentioning that, but yeah. Or that I did mention that. So, yeah. With that, now is the end of the guide. I'll probably make a guide on probably like Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Because I like that game too. It's also an obscure fighting game. So I'll see you guys for that series. And also see you guys in the next one.